This is the brief homily for the 21st of February. Please read the readings before listening to the homily. If you'd asked the psalmist what covenant was it he was celebrating in his song, you might have got one of three answers. The covenant with Abraham, by which God promised to Abraham and his descendants a privileged relationship with God. It might have been the covenant with Moses, by which God, who rescued a people from slavery, made them God's own for all generations. Or he might have said both of the above. In that first reading, though, there's something else happening. If you were to cross the border into a country ruled by a deluded dictator who has passed a decree that the rainbow is not to be visible in his land, well, if there's a rainbow in front of you as you cross the border, it will still be there after you've crossed the border. It's a phenomenon that isn't limited by man-made borders. If you're in a crowd of people of many different nationalities and origins and ethnicities, who is going to see a rainbow when it's visible? All of them. It's not limited to one chosen people. The image of the rainbow in that first reading is an image of the universal love of God for all of humanity. And the Jewish people kept that story in their Bible and told it generation after generation as a reminder that although they might be special, God's love extends to all of humanity and indeed to all living things. In that second reading, looking back to Noah, Peter then looks to his present day and connects the Noah story with the sacrament of baptism, by which people of any ancestry are made the children of God, are taken into a privileged, special relationship, becoming God's daughters and God's sons. In that gospel reading, Jesus takes 40 days to face down every temptation the devil can throw at him. And after 40 days, not having been defeated once, not once having been conquered by temptation, he begins his public ministry. Now is the time. Time to do what? Repent and believe the good news. Repent means change the direction your life is going in. Now is the time to remind ourselves that although if we've been baptized, we are a daughter of God or a son of God, God's love isn't limited to us who call ourselves Christian. It isn't limited to human beings. God's love is universal. That's good news. It's a time, and the time is now, as Jesus says. Lent is our now, as I record this video. Now is the time to stop pretending, to stop deluding ourselves into thinking that, well, Jesus offers forgiveness. That's lovely for other people who need it, but, I'm all right. No. It's a time to set aside such delusions, to acknowledge that we are sinners in need of God's mercy, that everything we've received from God is a gift, not a reward. that now in Lent we can seize those things we've been putting off, those changes in our life that we've known at the back of our mind we need to make if we are to grow in integrity and indeed in holiness. We rejoice that we are baptized. We are rejoiced that God's love goes beyond the boundaries of the church. We rejoice that in Lent we have a solemn and holy and joyful season in which the good news of the new covenant made by Christ on Calvary gives us the courage to stop pretending to ourselves that we're better than we are, to get real and turn to God for forgiveness and for the strength to repent, to stop the wrongful direction we might be headed in and set foot on the right path.